Francisco here for Thumb Destruction, and I'm joined with Tom Cook, classic TV show animator and director. First off, how did you get started in cartoon animation?
Well, it's a crazy story because I was a bus driver, and I was sitting eating lunch one day and saw this little pamphlet, and I started reading it, and it had a comic book class, and I wanted to meet the teacher because he drew Captain America back in the 50s. So that's the only reason I took the class. And it ends up, he was a storyboard artist at Hanna-Barbera, and he said, you know, well, I like your work. We're doing a show called Super Friends, and if I recommend you, you can get into our class and learn animation. So he recommended me. I got into class. 3 weeks later, out of 40 students, they hired me.
That's awesome. That's great.
And I went to the director and I said, you know, I'm really happy you hired me, but I don't know what I'm doing. And they said, don't worry, we're going to sit you with an animator, you'll be his assistant, and that's how you'll learn the business. And 2 years later, I was the animator, and they're bringing assistants to me. So completely lucky to get in.
And for some of those that may not know your work, could you just name a couple of your more well-known cartoons you worked on?
Sure, I would say the most well-known is probably He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, followed by She-Ra. But I also did Super Friends, Scooby Doo, the Smurfs. I worked on some movies like Prince and the Pauper and Roger Rabbit. Did the whole 7-Up Spot commercial thing with the tennis shoes and the sunglasses. Don't know if you saw those, but so I've had a pretty, you know, Smurfs, a lot of different shows over the years.
And how long have you been doing this for now?
I started in 1978, and I directed King of the Hill and a few other things in the 90s. And then pretty much I got a job at Microsoft, and I still did some work through the mail, but that was pretty much the end of it as far as doing any production work.
Do you have any future projects coming up that you'd like us to know about?
My future project is to build a house and live happily ever after. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, exactly.
And last question, if you could pick any of the characters you've ever drawn to be for a day, who would it be and why?
It would be Thundar the Barbarian. It was my favorite show to work on, mainly because Jack Kirby was one of the creators, and Jack Kirby was my hero. But it was a post-apocalyptic story where a comet went by and wiped out the Earth, and you got to start over from the beginning. So it's had the Planet of the Apes kind of feel to it. And I just think it would be awesome to start over. Because we're getting to, it's really a mess.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.